Hey, Israel. Hey. Wow, people racing around, man. California's full of. You would think there'd be more NASCAR drivers coming out of California. The way people race around. Probably one of the most dangerous places to drive. Probably besides Texas, where you have those open roads where people fall asleep and drive way too fast because it's wide open. Everyone drives too fast here, and it's you're shoulder to shoulder. It's ridiculous. So damn dangerous. The insurance companies just, if you're a body guy, you're cranking. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, our Heavenly Father, the existent I am, that Yahweh, Yahweh, coming in the name of His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christos, if you speak Latin, Solomon, Ashaya, Ahiah, has all these names, Joshua, Yeshua, Josiah, Zerubbabel, comes in the volume of the book because He is the Word, and the Word is truth. So we worship in spirit and truth. So we worship through this Word, is where that Spirit, the Holy Spirit, comes and indwells us. And if you're a diligent searcher, He will give unto you. Could it be that J.D. Niger was just a heathen Gentile at one time, and the fact that the Lord put a curious spirit in me, and I'm an example of a new Israelite. I think about that sometimes. It's like, could I have knocked my way into the kingdom, seeked my way into the kingdom, believed my way into the kingdom as a pillar over the millennium, over the thousands of years that since the beginning? It's interesting to try and think about how the spirits regenerate, that type of thing is, because we're just sitting here going, I don't really remember, but I know I've been here before. I feel like I've been fucked with because I'm very anxious and nervous and traumatized. And I continue to be traumatized. That's my lot. And when you think of your lot, you're like, damn. Maybe that's why I'm so strong too, in a lot of ways. It's like, I won't give up. I don't care if you throw me off the cliff. Fuck it. So we're studying when, man, this part of the story has always been quite, I mean, have I overthought it? Have I just figured I couldn't get it because I don't have it, or, I guess it comes down to, if the Lord hasn't given it to you, it's not time yet, but I feel like it's time. It's like, these are the things that I've been wondering for 20 years. And a lot of it's coming to me now. Knowledge will increase in the last days, per Daniel. And it is increasing for sure. But it feels like it's really slow. But anyhow, so this story, the Lord tells Jacob to leave his dad and go to Paddan, and that's where he found his wives, found his family. That's where he got turned into Israel. That's where he saw God when he laid down on the rock, and the Jacob's ladder and the angels, and he made a vow. I believe you, God. I believe the things that you're going to do. And the Lord told him to do something. I guess go look for Laban or whatever it was. And he did what the Lord told him. And so just before he came into the land, the Lord came to him, and there was another vow made. And these two vows, I'm not sure for sure. I'm thinking these two pillars, because it keeps coming up, the pillars, the vows. And so no one talks about this because no one wants to, I don't know. Does no one know? Is this new stuff? There's been people studying this book for a long time, and to think that the Lord's given this to me and no one's listening, it's like kind of irritates me a little bit. It's like, oh well, guess that's part of my lot. So what's it say? And the Lord said unto Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you. So he's promising him again. The Lord's talking to Jacob a lot. And the Lord said unto Jacob, straight up, dude, go home to Isaac. Go show your father the kids. Right? Go home. Come home. And then it says down here, I am the God of Bethel. The God of Bethel, the house of God. I am the God of the house of God. So he's saying it twice. I am the God of the house of God. So is the house of God the house of his son? Bethel, house of God. Where thou was anointed the pillar, and where you vowed a vow unto me. Now arise, and return into the land of the kindred. So he tells his wives, and they're asking, what's in it for us? And it's like, don't say it. And they said, okay, we're going with you. We're good. They were kind of doubting, going, man, it seems like everything you got from our dad. And are you gonna take care of us? And he did. So the flight from Laban. So this is where they leave. They get all their cattle. They get everything. And I'll just read through it. I haven't read it prior to this. I happened to be in the right spot. I was like, okay, it's got to be somewhere right here. So the Lord led me to this spot about the vow and the asking him to leave. And it just so happens, of course, I was in the right spot because the Lord's working with me. And so here we are, the flight from Laban. This is Genesis 31. In the beginning, 31:17, the flight from Laban. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all the cattle and all the goods which he had gotten, cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padam Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. He's heading back to Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. So if we go back to images 19a, let's go see what it's talking about. 31:30. It actually goes back, it goes forward. So 31:30, 34, 35. 31:30. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? That doesn't help much, does it? It's like, okay, so he's asking her, if you're leaving with your husband, why are you worried about what I got? Why are you still clinging to me? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. So it had something to do with the inheritance of wives. I guess we're just gonna have to go back to where we were over here. Images. So they were his gods. They were his idols, right? And Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. 19:1 is household idols. Yeah, they called them teraphim. Huh? Teraphim, like an angel that's embodied in a. Ooh, that's creepy. Makes you think of the Catholic Church and all these saints that they have. Do these saints have power? Is that why they put these teraphims everywhere? These idols? Creepy. All right, let's continue. Shit like that shakes me up. I'm like, teraphim? Household idols? Saint beneath the glass has a baby in his arms. Saint behind the glass smells coffee in the air. That's Los Lobos. Saint behind the glass. Household idols. Teraphim. We might not get through this. I'm a little like, I'm not sure I want to know what the hell was going on with Rachel's mind, because that's my mommy. It's my mommy. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he bailed. He didn't know. I don't think Jacob knew that she stole the teraphim. So he fled with all he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face towards Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob fled, and he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. He was almost home. They're like, you almost made it, dude, but we got you. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Personal side note here. There was 7 years between my sister and I. She was the oldest, I was the youngest. And my parents either tried to have me, they told me they were trying to have a son for 7 years, and then on the 7th year I was born. And as I look back on my life, my father was super smart, and he was super atheist, and he was super not a good father. And part of that probably was because he didn't have a father. His father died when he was young. He was 6 years old, so he never had a good example of what a father would be. But that being said, I think when my father saw me, when I came out, I think an angel came to my father and said something similar to him that the Lord said to Laban. Don't speak good to him and don't speak bad to him, because my father was very good to me, but he never led me very well. I was not, what would they call it? I was not guided. So I think and that this isn't the first time I've said this. This is me trying to figure out my heritage through my dad, who didn't believe, or pretended he didn't believe. 7 years, there I was, I lived on Harvest Avenue, telephone number 863-7772, 7 letters in my first name, 7 letters in my last name. Deloach meaning of the fish or of the sea. These are the things that, like, Lord's going, dude, just have faith. He knows I'm a little shaky sometimes. But anyhow, this is a weird stuff. Don't say either good to bad to him. Then Laban overtook Jacob's Salakia for the sidebar. I'm just saying these are This is part of what I need to study for me, so bear with me. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent. Get in your tent, boys. If you like traveling, you like getting in your tent, and you like being away from people, good chance you're an Israelite. Pitched his tent in the mount. We were travelers. And Laban and his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? In other words, why'd you kidnap everything? Why did you just bail? Wherefore did you flee away secretly and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth and with song and with tabret and with harp? What does that harken back to? That harkens back to a couple things. One is when who was it? Belshazzar or told Daniel and the people in Persia, when you hear the tarp, the tabret, bow down. And Daniel, of course, didn't, and the three brothers got thrown in the fire with him or without him. And but the other one is when Saul, the one that brings me back to the heritage, the Benjamite thing, when Saul got anointed, Samuel told him, go up to the mountain and you'll see a band of prophets coming down playing harps and tabrets, and join with them. And that's when they said, is Saul also of the prophets? Because when he came down, the people saw him with the prophets, and they're like, is Saul among the prophets? So these are the clues that there's something strange going on here, because at this point, I don't think any of the children are born yet. Yeah, there's no children yet. So I was going to say the 11 boys might be there, but not Benjamin, but I don't think that's true. Let's see. Let me go back. No one's born yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. So all 11 boys are born already. Except Benjamin. So, do you see what the things I'm trying to figure out here? Why is it that all the boys are born, Benjamin, this prophetic blessing, isn't born yet, but when he leaves Laban with all that stuff, I mean, I'm not dumb, but I'm a little confused. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I'm saying, what does taking his idols, what does Rachel taking those idols have to do with Benjamin and this? I might have sent you away. I might have sent you with good, you might have, or you might have said, fuck you, and made me stay or whatever, right? So what's Jacob say? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters, thou hast not done foolishly in so doing. So Laban obviously listened to the Lord and said, I just got to come at him straight and say, man, you took my grandkids, you took yourself. I thought we were family. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your father spoke unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that you don't speak to Jacob either good or bad. So Laban is seeking. Why'd you do this anyway? I can't mess with you. Your God told me he's gonna shove his foot up my ass if I mess with you. So I'm asking you straight up. Why are you trying to hurt me, right? And now, verse 30 of Genesis 31, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldest taken me by force thy daughters from me. With whomest thou findest thy gods? Let him not live before our brethren. Discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. Convoluted story. Anybody know the story? I'm just trying to figure it out. This is important family business. And it's hard to understand. This is spiritual stuff. This is heavy spiritual stuff that has a meaning. And if I don't got it yet, who did you find the gods? Let him not live. So basically, it sounds like Jacob put a curse on Rachel right there. He jumped the gun. So what happened when Benjamin was born? Rachel died by not trusting in her husband. Maybe this is what we're getting at. You got to trust. You got to have faith. You got to let the past be the past. You got to be not like Lot's wife, looking back. Rachel is a example of what happens when you look back. And this might be a lesson to me, because the trauma of the past is all over me, and it's like, how do I get past it? How do I step forward, and what am I stepping forward for? I'm stepping forward for the Lord, obviously, because I'm doing the work, but am I in the right spirit? These are the questions I ask myself. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Uh-oh. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. I'll keep going for a couple more minutes. I got to come back. We'll study the end of this, because you're not getting away that easy. This is a 302. You can't get your degree. You can't get your PhD until you learn this stuff. Okay. Oh man. Benjamin is a mess, I'll tell you. But we have something going on here, but it's not well fleshed out yet. I'm getting there. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. All right, so the story deepens. What does she mean by the custom of women is upon me? She was on the rag. She was bleeding blood. I'm sitting on the blood. I'm sitting on blood. There's a blood flow. What? Are you with me? Because I don't even know if I'm with myself. This is some deep shit for me, people. This is like getting my head cracked to the white meat. Trying to figure out why am I, why me, Lord? So we'll come back and we'll, I'm going to try and break this open. We know the blood is. And if the blood, he didn't find, she hid the images. She was sitting on them. She was sitting on his gods in blood. Does that have to do with the Gentiles? Were his gods not the gods of Jacob, right? Is that why Paul was sent to the Gentiles? Because she was sitting on the other gods in blood? The blood of Christ? I'll be back. Let's talk about it a little bit more. JD Nija. Shalom.